Here's the expanded segment for your speech. Every great achievement, every success story, every person who has ever reached their full potential. Do you know what they all have in common? Desire. That deep, burning urge to get better, to grow, to push past what's comfortable and step into something greater. It's not just about talent, luck, or circumstances. It starts with a decision, a choice made every single day. The decision to rise, the decision to improve, the decision to be better than you were yesterday. When you wake up in the morning, before your feet even touch the floor, something powerful is already at work. Your mind is either gearing up for progress or settling into the same routine that's kept you stagnant. And let's be real, some mornings it's tempting to just go through the motions. Hit snooze, drag yourself through the day, wait for motivation to magically appear. But the truth is, motivation follows action. Desire fuels that action. When you make a commitment, a real commitment to getting better, to improving even just one small thing about yourself every day, that's when transformation happens. Think about it. Everything you've ever wanted, every goal, every dream, every version of yourself that you imagine when you close your eyes, it's not going to come to you by chance. It's going to come when you decide to go after it, when you refuse to settle. And that starts in the morning. Not just any morning, this morning, right now. Because every day you wake up is a new opportunity to get better. It doesn't have to be some grand, dramatic change. Sometimes the most powerful transformations happen in the smallest, most consistent ways. Maybe it's deciding to wake up 30 minutes earlier, to read, to exercise, to reflect. Maybe it's choosing to speak with more kindness, to listen more, to be more present. Maybe it's finally taking that first step towards something you've been putting off for too long. Whatever it is, it starts with the desire to do it. But here's the catch. Desire alone isn't enough. Everybody wants to be better. Everybody wants success, happiness, strength, growth. But wanting something and being willing to work for it, those are two different things. The question is, how deep is your desire? Is it just a wish? Or is it a fire inside you that refuses to be put out? Because when you truly desire to improve, you won't wait for the perfect moment. You won't wait for someone to push you. You'll wake up and push yourself. And let's be honest, some days it's going to be hard. Some days you won't feel like it. You'll be tired. You'll be discouraged. You'll have setbacks. That's life. But the people who get better, who truly transform their lives, are the ones who don't let their feelings dictate their actions. They move forward anyway. They wake up and remind themselves why they started. They don't wait for motivation. They create it. So ask yourself, what kind of person do you want to be? Because every morning you get to decide. Every morning you get to take another step. And if you wake up with that desire, if you hold on to it, if you let it drive you, nothing can stop you. Now the choice is yours. Here's the expanded segment for your speech. How you start your morning sets the tone for your entire day. It's not just a routine, it's a launch pad. The way you wake up, the energy you carry, the thoughts you allow first thing in the morning. These things don't just fade away as the day goes on. They shape everything that follows. If you wake up feeling sluggish, hitting snooze, dreading the day ahead, guess what? That energy carries into everything you do. But if you start with intention, if you wake up with purpose, if you take control of your morning instead of letting it control you, they wake up, they check their phone, they scroll through negativity before they even brush their teeth, and then they wonder why they feel drained before the day even begins. But when you wake up and decide to take charge, to focus on progress, to step into the day with clarity and determination, you're already winning before the world even catches up to you. You ever notice how the people who get the most out of life aren't just lucky? They aren't just in the right place at the right time. No, they move differently. They think differently. They approach their day with a mindset that says, I'm here to grow. I'm here to be better than I was yesterday. And it all starts in the morning. It doesn't take much to shift your entire perspective. Maybe it's waking up and taking a deep breath instead of reaching for your phone. Maybe it's taking 5 minutes to remind yourself of what you're working toward, what you're grateful for, what you refuse to take for granted. Maybe it's starting the day with movement, with energy, with a moment of stillness before the noise of the world creeps in. Whatever it is, that first hour of your day is the foundation for everything that follows. Now, let's be real. There are going to be mornings when you don't feel like it. Mornings when the bed feels too comfortable, when your mind is filled with doubt, when you just want to coast through the day without thinking about progress or discipline. But that's the test. That's the moment that separates the people who grow from the people who stay the same. Because in that moment, you have a choice. You can let your morning slip away, or you can take control. You ever notice how when you start your day on the right foot, everything just seems to flow? You handle challenges better. You're more focused. You move with more confidence. That's not luck. That's alignment. That's momentum. And the more you build that momentum, the harder it is to stop you. It's easy to tell yourself you'll start tomorrow. It's easy to wait for the perfect moment. But let me tell you something, this morning is the perfect moment. This morning is the start of the rest of your life. How you choose to approach it is up to you. So when you wake up tomorrow, ask yourself, am I setting the tone for the day I want, or am I letting the day control me? Because once you realize that every morning is an opportunity, once you step into it with purpose, nothing can stop you. Now, the choice is yours, the expanded segment for your speech. Getting better isn't about one big moment. It's not about a single breakthrough or some dramatic change that happens overnight. No, real growth comes from consistency. The small choices, the everyday habits, the things you do when nobody's watching, that's what separates the people who improve from the people who stay the same. A lot of people start strong. They get inspired, they make big plans, they tell themselves, this time, I'm going to change. And for a few days, maybe even a few weeks, they push themselves. They wake up early, they put in the work, they stay disciplined. But then what happens? Life gets in the way. One rough morning turns into two. One skipped workout turns into a week off. One moment of doubt turns into an excuse to quit. And before they know it, they're right back where they started, wondering why things never change for them. The difference between the people who succeed and the people who don't isn't talent. It's not luck. It's consistency. It's the ones who show up even when they don't feel like it. The ones who keep pushing even when progress is slow. The ones who understand that success isn't about intensity, it's about discipline. You ever notice how the best in any field aren't always the most talented? They're the ones who refuse to stop. They're the ones who kept going when everyone else got tired. Because here's the truth, motivation fades. That excitement you feel at the beginning, it doesn't last. It's easy to be motivated for a few days. But what happens when that feeling wears off? What happens when things get boring? When progress isn't happening as fast as you want it to? That's when consistency steps in. That's when the real work begins. The greatest athletes, the most successful people, the ones who truly master their craft, they don't wait until they feel like doing the work. They do it because they made a commitment. Because they understand that every little effort adds up. One morning of discipline turns into a week turns into a month turns into a lifestyle, and before you know it, you've built something unstoppable. You can't control everything in life, but you can control how consistent you are. You can control whether you show up, whether you push yourself, whether you keep going even when no one else sees the work you're putting in. Because let me tell you something, those small efforts, they matter. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you're building something bigger than the moment. You're creating momentum, and momentum is powerful. Once you start stacking those small wins, once you prove to yourself that you can stay committed, nothing can take that away from you. It's not about being perfect. It's not about never missing a day. It's about making sure that when you do fall off, you don't stay down. It's about making sure that no matter how slow the progress feels, you don't stop moving forward. Because if you stay consistent, if you refuse to quit, if you make that decision every single morning to get just a little bit better, there's nothing you can't achieve. Now, the choice is yours. The expanded segment for your speech. Mornings can be tough. Let's be real about that. There are going to be days when you don't want to get up, when the bed feels too comfortable, when your mind starts coming up with every excuse in the book. I didn't get enough sleep. I'll start tomorrow. It's just one morning. And before you know it, you've talked yourself out of taking action. But here's the truth. If you let excuses run your mornings, they will run your life. Everybody wants to get better. Everybody wants success. Everybody wants growth. But wanting something and being willing to push through resistance to get it, That's where most people fall short. Because resistance is real. It's that voice in your head that tells you to take it easy. It's the feeling of doubt that creeps in when things get difficult. It's the excuse that seems so small in the moment, but adds up over time. And the people who succeed, the people who grow, the people who truly improve, they don't listen to that voice. They move anyway. It's not about waking up every morning, feeling like a superhero. It's about building the kind of discipline that makes you move even when you don't feel like it. It's about recognizing that resistance will always be there, but it doesn't have to control you. The moment you push past that initial hesitation, the moment you override that excuse, you take your power back. And the more you do it, the stronger you get. You ever notice how the hardest part of anything is just getting started? The toughest part of a workout is lacing up your shoes. The hardest part of writing is putting down that first word. The biggest challenge in self-improvement is simply deciding to begin. But once you take that first step, something shifts. Momentum kicks in. The body wakes up. The mind clears. And before you know it, you're moving, you're growing, you're getting better. That's why mornings matter. Because they are the first battle of the day. And if you can win that first battle, if you can push past that resistance, silence those excuses, and take action, you've already set the tone for everything that follows. That doesn't mean it'll always be easy. It just means you're training yourself to stop waiting for things to feel right and start doing what needs to be done. There will always be a reason to wait. There will always be a reason to stay in bed, to put things off, to tell yourself that you'll start tomorrow. But let me tell you something, tomorrow isn't promised. Tomorrow is an idea. The only thing you have control over is right now. And if you can push yourself right now, if you can make that decision today, you're already ahead of the game. This is how discipline is built. Not in the big moments, but in the small, quiet ones. The moments when no one is watching. The moments when it would be so easy to give in to comfort, but you choose not to. Because that choice, it's what separates the people who grow from the people who stay the same. It's what turns a dream into reality. So the next time that voice in your head tries to stop you, the next time that excuse starts creeping in, ask yourself, who's in control here? Is it the version of you that wants to grow, to improve, to become better? Or is it the part of you that's afraid of the work? Because every time you push past resistance, every time you take action instead of making an excuse, you're proving to yourself what kind of person you really are. Now, the choice is yours. Here's the expanded segment for your speech. The things you do in the morning don't just affect the next hour. They set the stage for everything that follows. Your habits, those small choices you make as soon as you wake up, determine the energy you carry, the focus you bring, and the way you show up in the world. And the truth is, most people don't even realize how much control they have over their own day. They wake up and react. They let the world dictate their mood, their energy, their direction. But the people who grow, the people who improve, they take charge of their mornings. They build habits that strengthen them, sharpen them, push them forward. And when you do that, when you stop treating your mornings like something to just get through and start treating them like an opportunity to get better, everything changes. It doesn't have to be complicated. You don't need some long, drawn-out routine filled with 100 different steps. What matters is that you start your day with intention. That means taking a moment to check in with yourself before the world tries to pull you in 1,000 different directions. That means deciding before you step out the door what kind of energy you're bringing into the day. That means committing to habits that make you stronger mentally, physically, emotionally, because those habits, they add up. Maybe it's movement. Getting your body in motion first thing, whether it's a workout, a walk, or just stretching for a few minutes, because when you move, you wake yourself up. You shake off the sluggishness, you boost your energy, you put yourself in a state where you're ready to take on the day. Or maybe it's stillness. Taking a moment for yourself before the noise starts. Breathing, meditating, praying. Whatever helps you find clarity before the world demands your attention. Maybe it's gratitude. Before you check your phone, before you scroll through news that stresses you out, before you let negativity in, take a second to remind yourself of what's good, of what you have, of what you're working toward, because your mind, it's a powerful thing. And if you don't direct it towards something positive, it will find something negative on its own. And then there's the habit of setting your focus. Too many people wake up and just wing it. They let the day decide what happens to them instead of deciding for themselves. But when you take a few minutes in the morning to set an intention, whether it's a goal, a task, or just a mindset, you step into the day with purpose. And when you do that, when you train yourself to start every morning with clarity, you move differently. You move differently. You carry yourself differently, and people notice that. Now, let's be honest, not every morning is going to be perfect. Some days you'll be tired. Some days you won't feel like it. But this isn't about perfection. It's about consistency. It's about building habits that serve you, that make you better, that set you up for success. Because when you do that, when you make those habits a part of who you are, you don't have to force yourself to be motivated. You don't have to hope for a good day. You create it. And that's the difference. Some people wait to see how the day is going to treat them. Others decide before they even step out of bed that they're going to win the day. And that decision, it starts with the habits you build every morning. Now, the choice is yours. Here's the expanded segment for your speech. Every morning you wake up, you have two choices: to go through the motions or to take control. And let me tell you something, how you start your day isn't just about the morning. It's about the life you're building. The decisions you make before the world even gets a chance at the end of the day, it all comes down to this: you are in control. Your growth, your success, your ability to become better than you were yesterday. It all starts with the choices you make, beginning the moment you open your eyes in the morning. You can either take charge of your day or let the day take charge of you. You can either push past excuses or let them define you. But understand this, the people who win in life, the ones who truly elevate, they aren't waiting for the right moment. They create it. Every morning is an opportunity. An opportunity to be better, to move with purpose, to set the tone for everything that follows. It's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent, about deciding again and again that you're going to show up for yourself, that you're going to take another step forward, that you refuse to stay the same. Because when you build that discipline, when you take ownership of your mornings, you take ownership of your life. So when you wake up tomorrow, ask yourself, am I just going through the motions, or am I stepping into my potential? Because the choice is, and always will be yours,